Hello. Yeah. My name is Harith Mtwangi. Directed So You Want to Be a Filmmaker. Oh, he, him, sorry, I forgot. But yeah, thank you guys for showing up today. Really appreciate all the turnout, and I hope you enjoyed all our films.
Hi everyone, thank you guys for having me. My name is Axelle and I wrote and directed 50/50.
Hi, I'm Dina. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a writer and filmmaker, and I directed All Grown Up.
So I'll just do a general question. Should I start with this one? Okay. So can you each introduce the film that featured in the screening and just tell us a bit about it?
I did So You Want to Be a Filmmaker. Yeah, just a background look into some of the processes that we go through as filmmakers while we do making a film. Really, it started out mostly as a BTS, but some of the clips turned out really good. Some people were really funny, so I thought maybe just put it together and then show it to people, see how they react, and yeah, I really liked how it turned out.
The question was the process? Or
Just introduce your film and just tell us a bit about it.
Okay, yes, so 50/50. Okay, so essentially this film is very short because it was made in 3 hours. It was one of the Black Film Collective shoots. So for those who don't know, every month the Black Film Collective hosts a shoot that is 3 hours long and a person can direct. So I volunteered and I wrote the script obviously before. The writing process was around 2.5 weeks or so, and we had a meeting with our actors to go over it, and then day of we shot it in 3 hours, a little less, which was very fun and impressive. So yeah.
My film was All Grown Up, and I did it for the One Take Super 8. And yeah, I just did it with my friends, honestly. Like, it was just a passion project. But it's kind of a long-winded story, but one of my friends had like a photography idea where she wanted to shoot photos of people in their day jobs, but wearing what they wanted to be as kids. So that's kind of where the title comes from. And at first we wanted to have it be a ballerina, but we couldn't find a ballerina, so we pivoted. We did a clown instead. So my friend she was the one who kind of came up with the idea, and we just had conversations about it. And from there, it just really like snowballed. And then I ended up writing a script for it. And then my friend Fran, who plays the manager, she kind of was the stylist of the film, and she like gathered all the pieces and stuff. And then my friend Gift is the main actress, and she's like right over there. And she's not even an actress. Like, she just did it for me. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, I appreciate you. But yeah, she did an amazing job. And when I was thinking about like what to do, or like the people I guess in my friendship groups that I could like wrangle together to like help me, she was like the first person I thought of. So I'm just really happy that she was able to be a part of it. And she did a really good job. So thank you, Gift.
Thank you. Next question. Where do your ideas stem from? Are they from your own experiences or experiences from others? So yeah, general question. Where do your ideas come from?
So we can switch up the order too. There's no pressure to go like Harith, Axelle, Dina. We can go backwards. Yeah.
Okay. With this film specifically, I think at the time, because of how it came about, we did travel out to West Hot Lake, and obviously it's the BTS was for Kaka, the film that showed before mine. And during that process of traveling, I was like, this is low-key a crazy thing to do for something that's going to turn out to be less than 10 minutes, right? So just going into it, showing the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs, and just how much stuff changes even when you're on set. Mike Tyson said, you don't know, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So making a film is getting punched in the mouth, sort of, kind of, comme ci, comme ça, but you go into it and yeah, things got really fun, things got kind of hectic, time crunch a little bit, but it turned out we managed to get things going through and some clips, funny clips to go with it.
Thank you.
For this idea, yeah, it was something that my friend talked about, obviously, about how a lot of people don't really end up pursuing their childhood dreams. So I guess like a lot of the ideas that I've come up with kind of have been from the conversations I've had with like friends or like, I don't know, the internet. Like, I feel like I'm kind of chronically online sometimes, like not always, but you know, I'm on there a lot. And I don't know, yeah, I feel like I just like internet discourse and like hearing what people think and what's going on in the world. And sometimes you can like make a lot of really interesting ideas just based on coming up with your own opinions about what you think is going on. I feel like I shouldn't say this in a public forum, but like, no, but like, I'm not like encouraging anyone to like plagiarize or anything, but I feel like Reddit, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if any of you have seen like the like Am I the Asshole? Like it's a gold mine, honestly. It's so good. But like yeah, like, I don't know, like stuff like that where you're reading about people and like reading what's going on in people's lives. I don't know, I just feel like it's a good way to like yeah, get out of your own echo chamber too. Cause yeah, like sometimes I read stuff and I'm like, that's crazy. I don't think that's real, but I don't know. Maybe it's AI, like you don't.
Who knows? Nowadays, it's like.
But yeah, mainly that.
Okay, to speak on this film specifically, kind of like Dina said, it was inspired by internet discourse, of course. I feel like it was a really big topic these past 2 years. Like, who's gonna pay the bill? Why should the guy pay? Are we splitting? Whatever. So that's what inspired this movie. I think in general, I really do get a lot of inspiration. Like, the films that I write are purely inspired by things around me or my own experiences. I just write what I know. And I get inspiration from like the internet, of course, or rather it's other sorts of media, a lot of books, literature, philosophy, just random stuff like that. And I think they mostly influence the themes of my movies, but less the storyline, if that makes sense. I think I have a good, like, I create my stories, but I get inspired by different themes. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we'll go into the more specific questions. Let's start with you, Dina. So your film was for the Super 8, and filming with a Super 8 camera can be really challenging, especially if you don't have a plan going in. So what was the process like for you, and how did you manage the timing of your shots?
It was honestly really chaotic, mainly because it was really like an unorthodox film crew. Like there was only how many were there? There was like 7 of us perhaps, or like no 8. So everyone there were mainly the actors, and there was me, and there was Emma, who's just there because she was taking photographs of behind the scenes stuff, and then one other person. So I was kind of just like playing all the roles or whatever. So yeah, chaotic. But I feel like to make sure that everything was aligned, I really had like a strong idea of what I wanted everything to look like because I drew a storyboard for it. So I feel like I was just following my storyboard along, and I was also just watching the meter on the Super 8 to make sure that, you know, we didn't have time out. But yeah, I was just cutting scenes, honestly, like right, left, and center after a while. But no, I feel like, yeah, that's mainly what I did. Because I know you also did like a Super 8, and like, I don't know, what was your experience like?
Looks like I'm switching places now. Yeah,
Eden directed Best Friends, by the way. That played in.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like for Best tricky of like timing, especially when you're like using audio with a film, because it's just silent. It's kind of like you just like edit that however you want. But with audio, that really helps me like tell the story. So I was just like timing it and trying to like match up the shots with it. And it's never perfect. I think that's like the beautiful thing about Super 8s. It's chaotic. It's messy. It's not supposed to be perfect and everything's supposed to go like so well. So I think that's a really good idea of like storyboarding. I feel like that's a really good way to like kind of lay out your shots and like see it before you do it, because with the Super 8s you can't even see the film until it's actually screened. So what I actually wanted to follow up on was the title cards and how you were able to get that the dialogue, you know, because your film is like silent, kind of like a Charlie Chaplin kind of vibe. So how did you do the title cards?
That was like in post. I was editing.
Oh, post editing? Okay.
Yeah, no, because the original version, I did try to shoot it all in like the one take, but then it wasn't like legible. You couldn't see it. And it was really like most of them were like for 1 second or so. So after I finally got the film, for this screening actually, it's the first screening that I actually like you see the edited version of it. But yeah, I just did that in DaVinci. So.
Okay, interesting. Move on to the next. Okay, cool. So next general question: what was the process like for each of you making these films?
Okay, process. What was the process like? Okay, so first writing. I think writing was the most important part of making 50/50. And actually, it's really funny because I had my concept. I knew I had 3 hours to shoot, so I was like, okay, what can I do? I think I want to do something with 2 people, just regular dialogue. A date scene would be awesome. And so I got the idea for this film, and I was writing my female character, but then I was like, what do guys think about on dates? Do they even think? Seriously, I was like, do they have thoughts? I didn't know. So I had to ask 2 of my friends and do some like research, and I asked them like, okay, what do you guys think on dates? Like scenario, and this was so insightful. And I'm being so serious. I learned so much through writing my male character, and I'm gonna tell you like, most of the lines are like every line that Harith said in the film was verbatim what my friends told me that they think about. So, credits to them. I did mention at the end special thanks to Ian and Adam. I don't know if Ian is here. Maybe he is. I don't know. Adam couldn't be here tonight, but yeah, they essentially really helped me write my male character. And then after the writing process, like I said, I had the amazing help of the Black Film Collective. Each person had their own role, so I had set dressing, someone on sound, someone on, assistant. Eden was my assistant director.
Yeah. I'm just doing everyone's films.
Yeah. But yeah, it was nice, and it was a lot of fun, so.
Thank you.
It's difficult to say. I think most of my process was really in post. I think the biggest challenge that I came through was kind of trying to create something from start to finish, because having just a BTS documentary thing with just videos like that can get kind of boring. And I know that with certain documentaries, you have to edit with like a storyline or any kind of experimentation in mind. So I kind of took the latter route, using a lot of overlays, playing with the sound, and that was also a bit tough since I didn't know what I really wanted to come across of it. That didn't come out right, but so really it came down to a lot of the interviewers showing what their process was like, making sure that that kind of stays untouched though, because I thought that it was very important, especially as someone who was acting for the first time, seeing how he thought about it, and also our director, Cyril Kawa here, how his process was filming it, and with Ahmed, who was also a writer there, because after you're writing, you're kind of a little bit hands off, and you're at the mercy of the director. So seeing his thoughts as well and how the director comes in with it, I felt was important to put it in its place. And then most of the other stuff, I was having fun playing around with it, getting people to, well, I didn't get them to do things, they were just doing them. Also, that's another thing about film sets, like it gets pretty fun when things are going on, you're really serious, getting locked in, but in the in-between moments, that's when you get that camaraderie. You are in there, locked in for like 10-hour days at a time, so you might as well be friends and have fun while doing this thing, because it does get tiring, and that's the thing that most people don't get. It can get boring, so you make your own fun, essentially, and I was showing that too.
Okay, thank you. Well, actually, can I follow up on your answer? Because I want to know more about like what documenting means to you. So why do you think it's important to document the behind the scenes of filmmaking? And is documenting your main way of storytelling?
It's a difficult question to answer because documentary isn't my preferred form of filmmaking. It is something that I just thought of on the spot to do, because traveling far, as I said, it was one of the first times I did that, and mostly meant for my own records, but I thought, you know, showing people how filmmaking works could be an interesting thing, because most people really don't know. You just point the camera, shoot, and then that's it. Or like they don't think about all the editing that comes in, some shots you don't like. Cyril even mentioned in the film that they had an idea that they kind of had to scrap because of logistics issues. You start thinking of those things on the fly. It's difficult to kind of parse what would work or what doesn't work. And yeah, that, because I like films so much, I like making art so much, that was in the back of my mind to just document it. And even though it's not my preferred form, I was having fun with it, playing with the edits, and hopefully people also liked what I put out here.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Next question. I'm gonna go to Axelle. So you kind of already spoke about this, but I wanted to know more about these characters. What was it like building a relationship with these two characters, and how does your own personal experience influence the stories you create?
The relationship between the two characters, ultimately, I don't know why, I think I have a thing for voiceovers that I've kind of noticed, like from the last films I've made, there's always been like some type of voiceovers, but I was really interested in exploring like different perspectives. So instead of just showing the dialogue of two people that were kind of nervous on this date, just really kind of showing them trying to act comfortable with each other and have normal conversation, but what was actually going on behind. And I think, like I said, I learned a lot from the male's perspective and the female's perspective on this type of dynamic. And I was also thinking, like, for this particular film, depending on like culture or different type of people, that have different values, like I was thinking, actually a friend told me this could make a series because I guess different people have different perspectives when it comes on dates and paying and that type of dynamic. So this was really influenced by, I guess, my generation or my close circle, culturally, my perspective on this whole discourse. And as I said before, my own personal experiences really do influence what when it comes to filmmaking, like what I write, and yeah.
Well, do you usually do comedies as well? Is that your main?
No.
No?
Guys, this is not the first comedy I wrote, I've written, but it's the first one, This is the second comedy I've written, and it's the first that I actually made into a film. So technically my first official time being funny, and I'm really happy people laughed. Yeah, but no, it was fun. This is actually so different from my usual style, which I think is very like more serious or like more dramatic and poetic. I think that's how I would describe it. But it was a fun experience. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. So next, I'll just be a general question for all of you, so whoever can answer first. Okay. Who are some of your inspirations as filmmakers?
That's a good question. As filmmakers, I would say I really like Enya Suda. I really like Ozo Yasushiro. I feel like I really like the way that they create character-driven stories. I think like in my little like bio that I submitted, I said I want to write stories about people for people, because I feel like nowadays a lot of movies you see are kind of made more for profit and not really, I feel like, to highlight cultures or peoples or like just serve as representation for everybody and different types of people. And I don't know, I feel like those two directors primarily made a lot of really interesting movies that just focused on the mundane lives of some people or even their own selves or their own characters. And yeah, I also feel like they were just kind of like their own visionaries during their time, which I really respected. And yeah, I don't know, they're very different, but I liked what each of them did. I also like Jack Demme too, because like a lot of his like musicals are really amazing and they're really colorful. And you need color back in film. Like I'm so sick and tired of watching movies and they're just like dull. Like you know what I mean? It's like where's the color? But yeah, no, I really like him too. So I guess them. But I also really like Michaela Cole. I think she's really dope.
Thank you.
My inspirations as filmmakers. Honestly, as a film student and filmmaker, I've gotten this question so many times. Like, who's your favorite director? Still don't have an answer. And honestly, I'll just have to say that I don't know. A lot of like the films that I make, if they may be, some of them may be inspired by some content from different movies, but I never really take stuff from other films, if that makes sense. If I take from other types of media, it would be, like I said, books or music a lot of the times, or yeah, but filmmakers that I admire, I'd say, I really like Sam Levinson. He's directed a lot with Zendaya, and he made this film. He directed Euphoria, for those who've seen it. I'm obsessed with the visuals and the color. He also directed Malcolm and Marie, and I just really love it for the photography. He's amazing when it comes to visuals. Also, I just have to shout out Celine's song. Every single chance I get, I always mention the movie Past Lives. So I think I'm officially admitting it's my favorite movie. And I just love how she writes characters, especially in that film.
For me, let's say my number one, or my favorite director probably is Satoshi Kon. He isn't exactly a live action filmmaker, he's an animator, but I like him so much because of like his non-linear storytelling. He does a lot of dream sequences. If anyone has seen Perfect Blue or Paprika or Melody Mattress, those are really good movies. Recommend. Put it on your letterbox, please. But also others like Robert Eggers and Yaron Blaschke is his cinematographer for most of his movies. And I recently watched Eraserhead. David Lynch also big inspiration for now. We'll see with other movies that I watch with him, but I think the common denominator for them is a lot of the visual storytelling isn't very linear, very surreal, and they play a lot with the time periods and yeah, those dream sequences in the editing, and that's where I you're going from point A to point B. More like, oh, point A, and then there's nothing. You kind of figure out your own route, you know. Yeah, I think those are my filmmakers.
Hey, thank you. So, for this general question, in each of your films, there is a theme of humor throughout. What is each of your relationships to using humor within your filmmaking?
I'm scared of comedies. It's difficult to write a comedy or figure out how to put comedy in your film. So the fact that you could say it is a little bit funny, that I appreciate it. However, honestly, what carried it is just the people that I was working with. As I said, you kind of just have fun while you're making a film. People that love what they do would enjoy it and would take the time out to also have other people have that kind of happy vibe in that. And so from there, you get those kind of funny moments that come in your daily life, really. There's no jokes, you're just making fun of the situation. And I really like that it came out that way.
Okay. So I'll keep mine short because, like I said, this was the first comedy film that I've made, and like Harith mentioned, it's actually very difficult to write a good comedy. It's really easy to be unfunny, and so I think for this film, I kind of just stuck to, like, sometimes things people say in general are just really funny or absurd. Like, I have this thing in my notes where I keep quotes, like when I'm around my friends and they say something really like silly, I quote them, and then at the end of the year I like read them back to them, and I'm like, yeah, that's you said that. So I feel like for this one, for this film, it's really like, I think, things that people do think of, or like I said, it's actually quotes that my friends gave me, like, oh, this is what goes on in my head during dates and stuff. So I guess it was kind of like the humor in everyday life.
I don't know, I didn't intend to write it to be funny. Like, I just think I wanted to make the movie, and then I just was like, okay, what's the most amusing thing for me? And I was like, let's just make it like an unserious little silly thing about something that's kind of serious. But I don't know, I just feel like humor, like, who doesn't want to laugh, right? Like, it's really just a lifeline for a lot of people, and it's also just the fastest way to build connection with people is through laughter. So I don't know, I feel like if you're able to like master that, which I don't think I am by any means, but I just think like if you add humor in a story, like I feel like it just sticks with people a bit longer, because I just feel like the things I always gravitate towards the most are things that have a lot of humor in them. Like, even if it's a drama, I feel like I like it better if there's humor in it, because I like the duality of that both. So yeah.
So for our final question of the night, I just want to ask each of you, like, what's next for you? What are you hoping to make? Maybe I'll start off with Dina, just because you made a one-take Super 8, and for folks that don't know what the one-take Super 8 is, it's through Windex Moving Images Festival, and it happens every year around like October, but there's like a open call to submit to it or get a chance to be able to partake in it. So you get like the Super 8 camera, you have like a week and a bit to make a film. Fingers crossed it comes out good, just like Dina's and Eden's. But yeah, maybe Dina, for yourself, do you see yourself keep making Super 8 films, or you want to dive into other things? But yeah, just a question of what's next for each of you.
I want to make a film with people speaking, because I haven't done that yet. Because I'm not an audio person and I kind of do everything myself. So I feel like dealing with audio is always really challenging. But yeah, I need to find an audio person so we can make that happen. But yeah, I want to write more scripts, and hopefully like in the upcoming year I can make more shorts and not silent films, but you know, baby stuff, so that's the goal.
The next project, currently in pre-production for the next film right now that I'll be shooting next month, early January, and this one's a longer short film, and I'm not gonna say too much about it, but it's not a comedy. Like I said, I think this one's more my style, very melancholic and kind of dreamy, more dramatic, yeah.
For me, I'm currently in like a scripting phase for some. I think my intention is for kind of a subtle film, a lot of visual storytelling, body movements that would kind of show what the character is feeling rather than spoken word. Of course, there's going to be dialogue, but the most important thing is those, body language things, and yeah, I want that subtlety to show.
Amazing. I think that will be the end of our Q&A. So thank you so much to each of you for taking the time to answer some questions, be in conversation with the audience. Thank you so much to Eden for being my co-facilitator. It was her first time doing a Q&A, so give her a round of applause. I think I'm going to say some words to close out the evening, so thank you all for being here as well. Come on the stage up there.
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Who sits in the front seat, your girlfriend or your mom? You know, one of those hypothetical questions like my character Dario would kind of answer. So think about that.
Pretty good end. Amazing.
Yeah. And on that note, another round of applause for everybody on stage. Another round of applause for all the filmmakers who are too shy to get on stage. One more time again, all of our sponsors, everybody who organized this, all of you guys for showing up. Yeah, I am over the moon and grateful for all of you. We have food. So if you guys would be so kind as to just let a lot of elders in our community have come out tonight to support this event, and we're super, super grateful. Give them a chance to go first, but then